Hey guys, so this is the beginning of my in-depth look at my Dark Samus cosplay. So it's going to be part 1 of a series, and I'm going to start in the order that I completed. So I'm going to start off with the torso region, and all the pieces of the cosplay were printed separately, and then they were either attached with either bungee cord or some filler with some straps to keep it in place or to hold it together. A lot of the pieces were printed separately and then welded together either with ABS juice or acetone or some heat welding. So like the left and the right side were printed separately and then they're welded in the middle. You could, if you were to look real close, you could see a little bit of a flat bulge where the weld is. So all the pieces were printed separately, and some of the pieces are very obvious where their separations are. Where I wanted to hide the separations, I added some fabric, and the fabric also gives the cosplay a little bit of a flex so that when I move around, only certain parts of it move and so certain parts like stretch. So like this part is going to be on my neck and my collarbone, so it kind of sits there, and then when I move my chest, this part moves independent of the collar piece. Same thing with the shoulders. The shoulders are connected with bungees, so that when I move my arm up and down, it flexes and doesn't move the whole cosplay. And the way that I attached the cosplay to my body is I used a strap system that I bought, like a bulk amount of straps, and cut and made my own buckles, or connected my own buckles. So let's remove this one. Okay. So this is the spine piece, and then this is some extra cord from the helmet. But let's move the spine piece out of the way. Go. So this is the strap system. A lot of the pieces are glued to their own pieces of straps, and then they're buckled in, so kind of like a reverse jacket. They get buckled in the back, so I kind of put my arms in through, and then a lot of the pieces either are attached to each other or to their own straps, or like a strap is connected to another strap to kind of make this weird web of straps that hold all the pieces together. And the way I did the lighting is I use a combination of LEDs and LED strips. On the spine piece here, we can see this is a good exposed piece, but I have a small strip of LEDs, and I had them suspended about an inch away from the 3D printed piece. So the further away it is, the more illumination it's going to give and more diffused it's going to look. Because the closer you get, the more point-like the LED is going to look. So to give it this kind of like diffused look, you want to get as far away as possible from the piece. And I used some metal wire to kind of give like the scaffolding to attach the LEDs to. Same thing with the shoulder pieces. These gaps here are actually filled with hot glue. So what I did was I covered the 3D print in painter's tape or blue tape, and then I turned it upside down and I filled hot glue in and I let it settle, and then I put LEDs inside of it. And same thing with over here, this is all hot glue and there are LEDs inside. Here too, and here and here, and then both sides are both mirrored, and there are also LED strips on the inside of the helmet. Okay. And then all the LEDs are connected to a battery pack that are located inside this chest cavity with an on-off switch, and they're all connected in parallel, so they're all run off the same battery, and I got a extra large size battery to power all of them. And these are all 12 volt LED strips, so I got a 12 volt rechargeable battery. So they all just run directly off the battery with the switch, and there's no microcontroller or any other kind of electronics involved. So this is what the inside of the Dark Samus cosplay looks like. Here you can see the details and the shape of the strap system. So I have the strap system holding the battery in a little bit of a carriage formation, and then I have these loops here which go around my arms, and then the straps tighten around it, pulling on the straps. So the cosplay is suspended around my chest and shoulders, and they're it's held tight via the loops around my arms and the straps in the back. There's a square here that keeps all the pieces from curving towards my arms, and then this strap over here, which is also connected to the spine, loops around my neck and holds the cosplay in place. And this piece, like I said before, this is the piece that rests on my collarbone, and these cushions over here give it a little bit of padding, so it's easier on my skin and bones. You can see the wires here. This is the main connections where all the wires split off to. So these two wires here go to the shoulders, and then there's a bunch of LEDs in the front, and there's actually also a fan in the middle. Let's see if I could pull the battery away. So, so right here is a fan that points outwards, so it sucks the air in and blows it inwards onto my chest. So that gives my chest a little bit more ventilation and keeps me cool while I walk around in the cosplay. And you can see, again, this is the hot glue filler. So this part's filled in, and then this part here has been filled in, and these LEDs right here illuminate this hot glue over here. You also saw, you might have seen a potentiometer over here. This potentiometer is actually hooked up to the LEDs that go into the helmet. Here's the helmet of the Dark Samus cosplay, and this is the wires that connect the LEDs to the battery. And like I said before, this potentiometer over here controls the voltage that the LEDs in the helmet gets and regulates it down so the LEDs get dimmer. And the LEDs are lined here on the bottom and a small strip right in the middle that gives it that nice glow. And you can see the LEDs better on this angle. And you can see I also put padding over here, so the points where it's gonna rest on my head and to stop the helmet from pivoting and turning. And here you can see this is where I used some fabric to fill in this hole over here and give it that nice flat look. And you can see I tape the wires down and have them coming out the back, going down into the back of my cosplay. Thank you guys for watching part 1 of my Samus cosplay breakdown. Stay tuned for part 2, where I go into more in-depth of the intricacies of the cosplay. And stay tuned, subscribe for more videos, and click on the little bell icon next to subscribe to be alerted when I post new videos and part 2 of my Samus cosplay breakdown and tutorial. Thanks guys!